So today I'm going to show you how to make cake pops. First we need to gather all of our ingredients. We need lollipop sticks, candy melts, any color you like. I have 3 bags here, even though I don't need them all. Some shortening, I prefer Crisco. Some frosting, and it can be any kind, but I prefer whipped. We have a cookie scooper, 2 bowls, one small for my melts, and one to crumble my cake in. You also need to prepare a baked cake, and you'll need a cookie sheet. The first thing we're going to do to get started on making these cake pops is crumbling this cake. I like to cut the cake into 4 pieces and crumble each 4th into small pieces, one at a time. Really make sure you get those edges real good, because when you get ready to roll the cake, it'll be hard. Another way that you can get your cake into small pieces is by using a food processor. A food processor really makes the texture of the crumbled cake much better, but crumbling works with your hands also, so you can use the crumbling method. So once you get that all crumbled, you're going to need your frosting. So you're going to get your frosting and you're going to mix it in this cake mixture. I had a little bit of hard time opening this, but I got it finally. Yay. So now I'm gonna use this whole container. You usually won't need a whole container, but since I have whipped, it has a different texture. So I'm gonna use this whole container. Usually you could use a half if you use a regular buttercream. So you're gonna mix all of the frosting in here until it gets a little like doughy. Like it looks like pizza dough a little bit. So you have to mix it in there really good. Once you have a good texture that looks like dough, you're ready to start making your balls. So you use the cookie scooper and scoop into your hand, and then you're just going to use like you're rolling Play-Doh. You're going to roll it and place on your cookie sheet. I have wax paper on my cookie sheet just because I don't like for my things to stick. So you're going to continue rolling until you have the entire batter, the entire mixture into balls. This will usually make about 50 of them. So now we have them all rolled up. Now it's time to melt our candy. Okay, so you're going to use a scoop of the Crisco. I just use like a regular spoon and just fill the spoon and scoop and put it into the bowl. And then you're going to put it in the microwave for about 1 minute. I like to stay nearby because sometimes different candy heats differently. So after you have that all completely mixed, you have to really stir this candy up so that you can get a smooth texture, because you need it really, really smooth. You don't really need it that smooth when it's time to dip the sticks, but when it's time to dip the candy, you need it really smooth. So sometimes you may have to put a little bit more Crisco and put it back in the microwave, but I think I got a pretty good texture going here. So I'm just going to continue stirring. And I also like to scoop up and see how it drips off the spoon, because if it drips easily, then I know my texture is going to be pretty good when it's time to dip. Make sure all the clumps and everything are out. Now I'm going to dip the sticks. I'm going to take a stick, dip it, just the tip of it, into the melts, and then stick them like 3/4 the way into the cake balls. Now that that's complete, I'm going to cool these cake pops for about 20 minutes so that they become firm and very cold. You could also use a freezer. Okay, once they're cooled and really firm, it's time to dip them. You're just going to dip the entire cake pall into the mixture, into your candy. And then I like to use some of my leftover cake melts, candy melts, and put at the top so that I can make them stand up. Otherwise, you'd have to stick them into like some styrofoam. And so you're going to continue doing this. And while they're wet, you can add some sprinkles. Now that I have this complete, there's only one last thing to do after you've had them complete. It's time to try one. It's creamsicle. They came out really good. Yum. Thank you. This is how you make cake pops.